actually published.
Hmm.
Maybe a Wix issue, try it in another couple of hours,
Yeah.
Sometimes we've had issues,
Yeah.
it could be a server problem. You remember when we talked about having cloud computing, right? Using theirs. So one of the disadvantage versus uh, local hosting. So that could be an issue. Because if you've done it before, right, and it worked, it is there. So what about all the cameras here? Lily, is there an issue? Okay, I'm starting to record. Do I have someone that? So how's it going with you, Kat, and your group, your project?
It's going pretty well, except I had trouble with the Notebook LM and inserting the audio, and same with VAPI.
Right.
The
Well,
instructions that were posted just weren't
right,
adding up to what
right,
I was
right.
seeing.
We'll talk about it. Great, Kat.
Okay.
Okay. So, Kat, do you mind? You want to moderate for me today? Do you mind doing that?
Yeah, sure.
Great. So, Kat, you'll be my moderator for today, and we'll talk about everything about basically this class should be called Issues and Challenges, right, Kat? Because we're doing with technology. Remember how I used to always say, if somebody tells you there's no problem with a new tech, right? We know either they don't know what they're talking about, they're lying to us, right? Because there's always going to be a problem. So one of the things that we're doing in this class and learning is to take a deep breath and then try to find out solutions. And I welcome everybody here. And one of the things that we're finding is AI is proliferating so quickly. It's changing a number even of software companies like Wix and even VAPI, the platform. They're all trying to get on the bandwagon with more AI, Cat. So what did they do? Can you imagine from December till now, right? In 3 or 4 months, they've made changes that don't even work this semester that worked last semester at the end of the semester. So one of the two things that they made changes with in VAPI, they used to have at the bottom, they used to have a widget where they had a Wix widget that you just could copy the HTML code and put it into, just like the instruction, and put it into VAPI. What they ended up doing is they took that out. Wix Cat is now also trying to get more AI, what they call Harmony, and a number of things that a lot of what I call legacy systems or legacy features. What does legacy mean, Kat? It means that was in the past. And even past, you think 10 years, 1 year. Now it's even last month or 3 months ago, they've gotten upgrades. And guess what? They don't tell anyone. Plus, they don't keep up with the legacies and say, hey, but you can use it this way or not. They just eliminate it and don't even communicate. One of the things I insist for you is that you need to communicate and you need to document. So what are we doing now? For the VAPI, what I suggest, Kat, for just now until maybe we try to find out some other solution is on your website. On the top of your website and the bottom of your website, say, call our AI agent and give the physical number. Do you understand that, Kat? So actually just put in your number, and then you should be able to do in VAPI, you should have been able to change those two prompts in VAPI that it should work, and then have everyone in your group call the number and ask questions to it, like, make sure that it answers correctly, and then even say, who is your team, or who is the CEO, or who is the CFO, or something like that, or what is the mission, and have that as your second prompts. So at least you can do that. That's number one, Kat. And I'm going to tell this to everyone. Number two is you can offer that as a service as well on your own, Kat. For one of your videos, for instance, you could tell them, we can create a voice agent for you, or we can teach you how to do the voice agent, and you can even give that as number two as a service. How does that sound, Kat? As a workaround?
Sounds good.
Sounds good. So at least everyone can see, when they see your website, Kat, that they can see that you know how to do a voice agent, an AI voice agent. And then when you even, what do I want you to be able to do for, have you upgraded, Kat, to a domain name?
Yeah, I already did that. I think I did that the second I made the website.
Good. So with your domain name, you can basically, when you even go to an internship or you apply for someone, when they ask, what do you know about AI? You can give your URL, and you want to showcase so much of what you can do, right? And probably most of those people don't know how to do a voice AI agent. So already you're among the top 95%, right, that knows how to do a voice AI agent. And this one I'm telling Kat to do, I'm telling each group to do. You know how to do it already. Why not showcase it, right? Number two, with so the workaround for VAPI is, for now, just show the phone number and make sure that the phone number works. So when you're even on an interview, you say, call my number and talk to my voice AI agent. Wow, you did that? Yeah. And they'll even say, tell me about Kat. What's your role in the company, Kat?
CEO.
Right. So tell me about the CEO, and even make sure that it answers it correctly. Right? So that's number two. Number three, with the Notebook LM podcast that we did in the class, that now you know how to do it in a podcast, there's an issue with now the podcast. A workaround for right now that we found is attach a button, adding the element of a button, and do the same thing as you follow the directions with the MP3, but you'll get a URL, you'll get a link, and attach that link to the button. And when you have the button, and then when you click, you'll get, the only problem is it's not as eloquent and elegant as it could be. So what you want to do is it'll bring you to another page, and you'll have that icon to be able to run your podcast. But at least you'll be able to run the podcast. So did you understand it? So create do the same things that you did with, you'll get a URL, a link. You'll get a link in for your MP3 and attach it to the button. And we have Isa, who's my other teaching assistant. She's going to be doing tomorrow, she's going to be doing an additional recording of how to do that. So you can wait till we probably will publish it by Wednesday, and you can look at that. You can try on your own, Kat, and try it on your own, but we're going to have my TA Isa look at it, and Lily, who's our lead, she'll just make sure that it's Isa's video is uploaded on how to do that. Okay, those are 2 points. The other thing that you can think about, Kat and everyone else, is another service is, do you know how to set up a Zoom meeting and stream live to YouTube? Of course you do, right, Kat? So that could be another service that you could tell we'll be doing. What's your company, Kat?
Career Edge AI.
So it's basically for careers. You can say that, once a week or you will be giving webinars via YouTube, and we'll also be broadcasting it live to YouTube. And you could then give like samples of what you would be doing, and you can tell them we'll invite other professionals in the field to give us advice, being like guest speakers. So that could be another service that you offer. Plus you can tell them, and if your customers would want, you could say, we'll possibly then teach you how to do it. Plus, among those professionals, you could have them as a possibility as sponsors for your seminars. Sponsored by, and then you can invite some of their executives to give tips and tricks for the edge career, something like that. What do you think about that, Kat? So we're doing workarounds. And that's life, you know what I mean? So it basically is changing so quickly that will be, I think, Kat, another new job opportunity that people will have is just keeping track of all of my AI agents. Since a number of additions, subtractions, changes among different software, hardware are coming into being, there has to be somebody checking, does this all work? That it worked last month, and because it worked last month, it's not here. So what is your major, Kat?
Finance.
Finance. So think about that you have now finances really getting into all this AI agents, right? To do a lot of the tedious work and even do a lot of the forecasting and predictions. And guess what? Will it work all the time? Of course not. So I think they'll be looking for people help us to figure out what should be automated and also help us figure out the auditing purposes. Because you know how much they could lose by that agent trading incorrectly for you when it's supposed to buy, it's selling, right? It's not keeping track of all the data. You could be out of business just because it can do something so quickly. It can also put you into out of business quickly. A human being takes a long time to do a number of different steps to screw up. Right? And AI agent that they made some that may even work in the beginning correctly, but the the environment has changed, can do damage a lot quicker. And then think about when I call about those squads, agents calling other agents, and you have to figure out what caused the problem. You could say, hey, Dr. Rush caused the problem. We can blame it on, we can say, hey, we pinpointed she made the mistake, right? And now ask me to go backtrack, but tell me where it was and where there was thousands of agents doing things. Who can even keep track? So there's going to be almost like audit trails keeping track of what all my agents are doing. And then I'll have agents controlling other agents. Can you imagine? It is a nightmare when you're talking about finance. It's not, to play around and just to chat with, Chat GPT, or play around even with their phone systems, it's not damage. But thinking about finance, that it's going to really, they're thinking about is predicting, doing predictions, even doing trading for me. It can cause damage completely, but it can really do well, but it needs a lot more supervision than people realize. And who can start doing the supervision is humans. And that's where you're in the loop, but you're going to be showcasing that you can work with AI. AI is not going away, but people aren't even sure, how do I incorporate it? And AI is the system. Think about it. VAPI just changed. Did VAPI tell me? No. Babby didn't say, hey, Dr. Rush, we made a change to Wix. They just changed it. One hand doesn't know the other. They're not in communication. They're somebody like Vappy are a couple of guys that started this. And what do they want to do? They want to get an exit. They want to show that they have a number of people there. They have a great idea, and they want somebody like OpenAI or somebody like that to buy them, right? To exit. So they're not into communication with the end users. They're into having a number of people use it. And in the beginning, it looks neat, doesn't it? So they can show almost the concept of it. But then you have an understanding of what's the difference between a caller and that. Okay. So did I answer your questions, Kat, that we work together on what the workarounds are here? So part of it you got, and part of it is, Wix and many times because they're cloud, what is the problem? Is do we own the server? Do we take care of it? No. So it could be a server glitch. Do they tell me it's a server glitch? No. Do they want to tell me it's a server glitch? No. They're publicly traded. Guess what? They're publicly traded. So first of all, they may not even know they have a glitch. And number two, they figure to our advantage, why should we advertise our dirty laundry? But it's frustrating. But what they don't understand, they're very short-term sighted, right, Kat? That you would leave them and you say, I don't care if it's free or not, but the next project I'm doing, I don't want to do it because I can't rely on them. Right? It's short-sighted, but everybody kind of is short-sighted because they say, hey, we got another product, base 44, and we're spending time on that. So we're taking all our resources from Wix and putting it into base 44. So those are issues that you have to understand. The environment that we're in, it is so volatile. It's running so quickly. It's hard to keep up. And that's why you guys can come in as an advantage as being just graduates, right? That say it traditionally in traditional IT, Kat, it was people that had 30 years experience. You couldn't hold a candle to you because you say, hey, you had 30 years experience. I don't know much. But in AI, those people had 30 years are now getting fired because they're not up to date with AI. I'll give you an example. I'm in the Hall of Fame of Women in Tech, and one of my inductees was, at the time, she was vice president of Microsoft in development. I was pleased to see that she got promoted to president of Microsoft in developers, right? Isn't that impressive, right? This woman, she started off from undergraduate and went to Microsoft and became president. And guess what, Kat? I was reading, I got some in my feed that I saw her name and I said, oh, great, what's she doing now? And basically said she's retiring. And basically this woman is in her 50s, right? Shouldn't be retiring, but you know that they fired her. Why? Because they probably want for developer, that whole development platform for Microsoft. Guess what? If you were a traditional programmer, Kat, it's now changed upside down. So they probably thought, hey, this person that was a really great programmer and could basically supervise all these programmers in Microsoft, we want somebody new that really knows AI. Amazing, right? So what my point is that you coming in with that can come in and say, okay, now I can work with AI. And I know she's extremely bright, but she hasn't been working as much with AI in her career. So they do it. So that's the issue here. So everything has a glass half full or half empty. We're looking for the half full, right? That we can do it and that we can deal with it. So I'm going to share my screen. And you see me rubbing my eyes. Do you see that, Kat? My screen? Lily, do you see my screen?
Yes, we see your screen.
Okay, perfect. Okay, so I'm going to go to K, and I'm going to go to what's due. We know in this case, Evan, what do we have on April 22nd?
Second exam.
Second exam. So you can see today what I asked you today on Monday the 13th. You see that I have the final project progress site is you needed to do that. And then chapter 12 was business analytics. And this is the last chapter for today's work. This is the last chapter that you need to do. And then we know we have an exam on April 22nd. So what I want you to do is continuing improving your website and continue populating your social media. Make sure you look at the videos and look at each other's videos, and you may need to do more videos. Like I told you, you can do a video on the AI caller. You can do a video on the podcast. You can do a video on Zoom with YouTube. And then make sure on April 22nd, which is next week, that you do the same thing as you did before, where you make sure you bring your pictured ID, make sure you bring your laptop with an updated version of Respondus, make sure that you come on time. In this class, for our online version, everybody kind of straggles in. We will start at 6:35. So the exam, if you arrive late, you will not get extra time. If you have approved extra time, you'll get the approved extra time, but you still need to come on time. And the exam ends at 7:50. Last time, I think everybody finished at that time. There's not a problem with that. And then we have right here, you have the exam to review guide. And you'll see in your exam review guide, everybody see that? You'll see here that the exam will cover chapters 5 and 4 from the last exam. So it will be from the data chapter and the security chapter, plus it's TG3, which is the cloud computing, chapter 14, which is artificial intelligence, chapter 10, which is the ERP, and chapter 12, which is the business analytics. Same structure as completely as the first exam, so there won't be any surprises. People were a bit stressful always when you get a first exam, you don't know what to expect. You know what to expect. You come to the lab, now everybody knows where the lab is. The exam will be in person, it'll be proctored by myself and your excellent lead TA, and it will be closed notes, closed book, closed AI software, and you have to put your phone in your backpack, and you cannot use your phone other than to put in your code. Other than that, you need to put it away, and that's it. You have to bring in your pictured ID, and with your laptop in case we have issues. You know that we always are preparing to have issues, so we always have a backup. The exam is the same parts. You have multiple choice, and you have up to 3 open-ended questions. And again, the order is up to you. They're 2 separate tests. You cannot traverse back and forth, and the multiple choice will be presented in the same format that you can go up and down. You'll presented 1 question at a time. These are the articles that I suggest you look at. One is about cloud computing, one is about machine learning, one is about artificial intelligence, one is about generative AI, one is about AI agents, one is about ERP, enterprise resource planning. 2 of them, one is an AI caller, one is the difference between what is agentic AI versus generative AI, and the other one is about AI voice agents. Here are the list of terms for chapter 5, which is my data, right? And data governance. And you can see here, these are the list. It should be, there may be a couple of terms off, but it's covering chapter 5. Chapter 4 deals with security. Remember, we talked about exposure, threats, and vulnerabilities, and controls of physical communication, access, and administrative. And here are all my AI terms that we covered last time. TG3 covers cloud computing, right? And think about it in terms of advantages and disadvantages. The infrastructure as a service, you need to know what it is. Platform as a service, software as a service, public cloud, private cloud, hybrid cloud. You need to also think about, you need to know what local, right? Local host is and edge computing. Chapter 14 is artificial intelligence, the subfields of machine learning, deep learning, neural networks, expert systems. Thank you, Lily. Supervised versus unsupervised training. How do you get any of this data into the system, and how do you train it? Just by throwing a bunch of data into a system is not enough. You need to train it. The way for neural networks or machine learning, what needs to be is I have a hypothesis of what I want to do. For instance, I may have someone reading images for radiology, and I have to give it supervised. It also can be banks for bank fraud, for credit card fraud. What do they do with credit card fraud? Is basically in supervised training, they basically, if I'm a bank, I know the transactions when I know those transactions that were fraudulent accounts. So I can give it a list of transactions that are that I can give to the computer supervised. And supervised means that a human being, for instance, I as the trainer, work with the computer for supervised training. What does it mean? That I give lists of transactions and I know the results. So I can give the computer, these are transactions that created fraudulent, that were fraudulent. And these are the transactions that were suspicious, but turned out not to be fraudulent. And you give it the answers. These were suspicious, but turned out to be not fraudulent. These were the transactions that were suspicious that turned out to be fraudulent. Try to find out and learn with the supervised training. You tell the neural net or the machine learning, find out what is the connection. Once it learns the connection, then what I do is I remove the answers. I give it new transactions that I, as a human, know what the results are. And I tell it, now that you trained, tell me, the human, is it a real fraudulent transaction? Or is it just suspicious and there was no fraud? And then I know if it's correct or not. And guess what, Kat? It probably, when it's trained, it won't be 100% accurate, right? But every time I will feed it more data and have it learn. Remember the idea of learning? It will go back and learn again and again, where I basically increase its accuracy. And then in unsupervised training, once it learns all that, unsupervised means the human gets out of the loop and it tries to train itself. It tries to find new patterns, and maybe even the transactions that I didn't think about suspicious, it finds new suspicious activity. So that is why banks use this supervised and unsupervised training for many years. And that's why sometimes when I go on a trip and I'm outside of Miami and I may be at a conference and my patterns may change. All of a sudden, I'm filling up gas or I'm going to places that I never normally go. It may contact me and say, there looks like suspicious activity. Is it suspicious activity that the system got wrong? But what will it do? It'll take, and I say, yes, I made that transaction, and then what will happen is my transaction based on my buying patterns will go back to the system, and the system will learn that not just anybody that leaves Miami should we think that's suspicious. Maybe it should check, did I take a plane to San Francisco? Oh, she took a plane, right? She landed, right? And then we could follow her with a credit card, and we have the hotel reservation, and she made that purchase at the hotel. She went and ate at she made a mini bar or something that I never would have used a mini bar before. Everybody understand that? And then there's generative AI that and then there's the Turing test to see if it's accurate. And then if it's done by a computer, not by a computer, and natural language processing that we've done before. And then this is about enterprise resource planning. What's a transaction processing? Anytime that I make a purchase, that's a transaction. If it's online, then I know that it's going to be immediate. If it's batch, it basically can take longer to do that, and may do it periodically, like once a month, like for payroll, or once every 2 weeks, like payroll. Enterprise resource planning we talked about before. And then we talk about business analytics. We talk about descriptive, predictive, and prescriptive. What is present? What is future? What gives me some action to do? So I know descriptive. Like, what do we know about descriptive, Kat? We just took our exams, right? So descriptive would be describing my data on test one. So what we can do is we can talk about what was the highest score, what was the lowest score, what was the range between the two? That's descriptive. What's the average of the test? That's descriptive. Predictive, based on what you got in the first test, will we be able to predict what you'll get on the second test? And prescriptive, if I didn't do so well on the first test, and they predicting for my prescriptive, the prescriptive would be giving me ideas or advice or recommendations on how I could improve it. And then we talked about data mining, looking at data and sensitivity. And these are 8 open-ended questions, from data management to security to cloud computing to infrastructure and platform as a structure and software as a structure, talking about generative AI, talking about agentic AI, talking about the subfields of AI and what is an AI caller, what are the three of the key features. Did you see this sentence, Lily? What
Uh,
three?
I have to zoom in. I'm
Okay. What 3 of the key features of AI caller
and that
system?
must have been I can change that.
Yeah,
It sound better.
yeah. Thank you. I just saw that. How do AI system callers work? What are the benefits and disadvantages of using AI callers in business? List 4 benefits. In your response, make sure to incorporate specific examples from your most recent assignment to illustrate how these agents function in practice. So you guys did that example. Thank you, Lily. So questions on that? Kat, any questions from the audience, or anybody want to unmic themselves for questions? Okay. Jonas, did you see any questions? What do you think?
I thought that it was pretty clear.
Yeah, it's clear. And does it sound familiar? Yeah, so there's no
Yeah.
variance. So, and the idea, Kiko, is what? If you think back of where were your struggles after taking the test, you can adjust. Almost like that prescriptive is, where can I adjust? What can I do better this time? But you know already how it's set up. You with me? Okay. So, and that's the case. Lily, what group do I need to look at?
I think she should go to group one.
Group one, I should see.
Yeah.
That could be good. Okay. And who's in group one?
Jake Dans, Collier, Kat, and Max.
Okay. So who wants to present from group one? I'll let them do the presentation. So who's in group one? Okay, so Kat, who in your group, and Jay, so who, I'll have any of you share your screen and then we can go over it as an example. And the beauty here is whatever I give you feedback is really for everyone. So we don't have to take it. So what I'd like, I will tell you. What needs to be improved, I'll tell you, and how to do workarounds. So who wants to do it?
I
So
guess
Jake,
I will.
okay, so Kat, so you go ahead. Share your screen. You know how to do that, right?
Yeah.
We've come a long way besides doing sharing screens, right?
Okay. All right, so this
So,
is our home page.
okay, so let's first of all, when we get to the home page, let's look at, so what is your URL say? What's your domain name?
Careeredge.biz.
Okay, Career, I like it, don't you? Career Edge, it kind of tells it, and Career Edge AI. Right here where your cursor is, I'd like to see maybe some kind of moniker or some kind of few words. You can even ask ChatGPT and others to do it. Okay. And then it says Master AI, win the job search. Okay. And who is this for? Who's your audience?
Our audience are primarily like business, like finance students who are trying to find a job.
Okay. So I would put that somewhere here, empowering business students to dominate recruiting in finance and consulting with strategic AI tools and elite career coaching. That's good. Master AI, win the job search. Okay. What else? Okay, we got
Um,
it. We got a guy here. You like the picture?
it was just what originally generated. I think we're
Okay.
probably going to change it at some point.
Yeah. So what I would do, it's not bad, it's not great, but this is to everyone. All the pictures that are generated in the first time around are okay. I want it to be stepped up a notch. So get everything else done, but then have a group of people in your group to find better pictures or get AI to generate it. And then you could even put at the end, generated by whatever software generated it. I like when you, since you're AI consultants, I like that you even give credit to AI, that you're not trying to hide that. Okay, and this is your at Career Edge, our mission is to help students secure finance roles by using AI to streamline and optimize. Okay, not bad. This is a little too small, I think, but that's okay. And what is the, you like this moving banner like that?
I mean, I think it's kind of the same thing, or oh, I can stop it. Um,
Yeah, I'm not a big fan of it. You know what
yeah,
I mean? It's a little irritating to me. That's
we'll
my,
delete that then.
yeah, okay. But anyways, okay. What else? This
Um,
must be this must be a group, right? That must be a, did this picture come with the AI?
yeah, I think
Yeah,
so.
I'm not a big fan of this one either. You know, I
Okay.
guess they tried to show all, but anyways, empowering with practical
Oh, sorry.
discover services. Okay.
Um,
Here's some other kind of, so this the title of this is what?
I oh, I think that that might have been my fault, and I accidentally deleted the header because
Okay.
for some reason none of my headers were working.
Okay. So go through it. So
So
okay. So resume optimization, LinkedIn profile. You know what? I would put something here of first, something like free here in the beginning, like first consultation free or something.
Okay.
on this, because I'll tell you why. We don't know you, so it'd be good to, let's try you out. You know what I mean? Or even a half hour or an hour that I get this free. Later on, they love me, then we can do it. Okay. But it worked. Mock interview coaching. And the mock interview coaching you're doing with AI, or you're doing personal?
It was supposed to be personal, so
You know what I would do? I would do the opposite.
okay.
AI, or maybe personal with AI or something. I like the AI being there.
Okay.
So
Wait,
I would put
Professor, are
what?
you saying make the AI conduct the interview? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, we make the AI, or a person and the AI, or help you
Yeah,
with the AI.
that's what I was thinking.
You know what I mean? And or teach the person what are the right prompts to do the AI coaching interview.
Yeah.
Because once I do it once, what I'd like you to do is teach me how to do it all the time. I'm right, I'm 2 months before the interview, I'm a month before, the next day, and in the morning, I'm still nervous. Let's go through another AI interview coaching, and then it be the AI. So, and basically, you can teach them almost in the way I see you giving this, is teaching them how to use AI to get a job. So it's the idea we'll teach you. You can put somebody, maybe Max, you can take down notes here that we can, and some of the other ones, and Jake as well, is that we can teach you how to do the correct mock interview with AI. And by doing that, we can give you prompts, certain prompts to help us. Okay, what else? And what is this supposed to be?
This is like our people page.
Okay, and somehow the pictures aren't coming up.
Yeah,
Is
I
that
need to insert a picture. I feel like
okay?
I'll,
Okay, and
yeah,
then let's go up a little bit and I'll give you feedback for it. Everybody should have feedback. Go up to your name so I can see Kat. Okay, Catherine. Okay, see, champions the integration of AI to levels of playing. I would talk a little bit about you here. Put another sentence in there, about you, of what you're going to be doing. Maybe, what are you studying, Kat?
finance.
Finance. So I would put that as well. Studying finance, and basically helps me to do this. I'm really, give ideas on, you being champion integration, playing field for the next generation of business leaders, but have something about you, why you're so great, you know, and the same, especially in technical. So I put at least another sentence about you guys,
Okay.
and showcase you, because my goal really in the background is when you give this URL to somebody, Kat, when you're looking for a job, they'll see about you. You know what I mean? And they'll
Okay.
see what you
Yeah.
can do. So you want to showcase everybody in the group that we're just beyond this. Okay. What else do I need to see? Get in touch. Okay. So what I want to do here in the get in touch, everybody do this. When the get in touch, I want you to put in here, call our AI agent.
Okay.
And then and then you could even do something in here, put this in a note, Cat, in your group and everyone else, is you could even give another service to everyone in your, that are going to be customers of your clients. We can teach you how to have your own AI caller. Because if you were a candidate, you don't want every schmo calling you, Kat, right? You don't want to give out your phone number. So it's in a way in which also to screen, right? That it can talk. Oh, what is it? Who is this? Oh, we can, Kat, is this a way in which, so you can even, what I would do in this case is have a way that you have your AI caller in the top and the bottom, and have somewhere where you advertise that you can give this as to teach them. So that could be one of your videos as well.
Okay.
So can I click? Don't I have that thing where in Wix I could click on Instagram and LinkedIn? These are not clickable.
Yeah, these are links.
Okay, and the other one, LinkedIn, is not.
Uh, Yeah, I didn't do the LinkedIn. I did these two. So
Okay, so if you're not doing, so do you have LinkedIn?
like the
The
app.
LinkedIn, you do have a LinkedIn at at careeredge.com at AI? Did you
Yeah,
create one?
but I didn't create the LinkedIn.
Did
Someone else in my
somebody in the,
group
yeah,
created it.
right. So if somebody in the group, it needs to be clickable.
Yes.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's all I'm talking. Okay, and where are your apps or your
Um,
videos?
oh, yeah, no videos. So sorry.
Okay, so you need to
We
do that.
have
Everybody
not
has,
gotten there yet.
right, so put that note. Everybody, so this is not complete. Everybody needs to have videos, and the videos have to be relevant to what you're showing. You're not just having, just talking heads about something. You have to show what were your videos about, what product's going to help me basically get a job, right? So these videos have to apply. You have to also say who made the videos. What are
Mhm.
the videos about? You don't want to, people don't want to just click a video if they don't know who made it and what it's about.
Okay.
So that needs to be, and what's under service and anything, what's notifications?
Services. These were all of like the free services.
Okay, leverage, and what am I supposed to do with that? View details, can I do those links, do those work? And what am I seeing here? And what am I getting free? And what am I supposed to do here? You too can join this program being the voice. What does that go to? The app? What is that? Link there
I
about?
genuinely have no idea. I'm so
Okay,
sorry.
okay,
Don't know.
right. And then share, you see these link here, Facebook, X, and in there.
Hmm.
So here is where you can put it also. Those need, if they don't work, the links, if you haven't done anything Facebook, you want to eliminate it, right? If you have
Okay.
something in X, you can click on it in X, right?
Hmm.
So those are, okay.
Yeah, I think that's about it.
Yeah. So how would we summarize this? Lily, you have any thoughts?
Well, first of all, for your link, when you click on the link, it takes you directly to your services page, not your home page. So
Okay,
I would
I'll
like
just redo
copy,
that.
yeah, like, just put in a new link so it just takes you straight to your home page.
Okay.
Um, and definitely get those videos done. That's really more all of my.
Yeah, and the videos, plus you need to put in your agent
Hmm.
Yeah, but
and
we're
the podcast, you're right.
well,
I
not
mean,
the
her
widget
agent in
yet.
terms of at least put in her phone number.
Yeah.
Yeah, the phone number is linked at the bottom, so I'm just
Where,
gonna move it
yeah,
to the
no,
top
I wouldn't
where
move
you
it. I'd
said
keep it
before.
both places.
Okay.
I'd have several places. You know what I mean? How
Okay.
can I get in touch? People may not even go to from the top, and people went to the bottom. They didn't notice from the top. You put it everywhere and call our agent.
Okay.
And then the podcast. I told you with the
Hmm.
podcast. So it's a good start. You need to know. You know what I'm saying? And each person in your group is responsible for a video, at least one, right?
Wait, so you want us to put the videos on our website?
Yeah. And then what we want to do as well is we want to be able, when you do it, it may be, you may have to record twice or three times. The first time you want this to showcase, to be the best you can. You don't want to be too long. I wouldn't do it more than 5 minutes. And part of you can even do shorter ones and have as parts of it and have as part of your social media. Your social media every day should be populated. You should have everybody in your group follow it, respond to it. It shouldn't be done at the last moment, slap on a couple of social media. So it should be continually, and it could be social media about a lot of your services, about just not a picture, but a lot of short little videos. You can even do like a YouTube channel and put some of those videos on your YouTube channel. You can reuse some of these too as well and make them in shorter clips, shorts. as well. So did you get some insight, Kat?
Yeah, I'm honestly still confused about the videos and what they are supposed to have in them. I'm not,
Okay,
yeah.
do you want to answer that, Lily? Or
So if you go onto my website, you could like see like an example of what I did. So it's like basically like the whole point of the video is to show like what AI like software that you chose, how that's supposed to like help with your service offering. Like for instance, for mine, I like kind of did something similar where I was like basically like Wall Street prep, like trying to get you like into investment banking because that's what I was doing during that time. And so I use Call Annie, which is like this like AI companion that you can like talk to back and forth, kind of like more like personable conversations, and like she would help me with like behavioral questions. And so like I did like a whole like video walkthrough on Zoom, and I made like a cloud recording of myself basically talking with
you could do
Annie.
something on like mock interviews. You want them to do mock interviews,
Yeah,
right?
that's basically what I did.
Kat, you want to do mock interviews. And we said with AI, you could even do a video with two people, even one person, of yourself asking the question, asking the prompts with the video, and then it responded. And you could give it a thing. I need an interview for finance. It's going to be my beginning one for an internship. Help me proceed through it. And you can give it actual questions. That could be one video. Do you understand? Show examples, and not have to be long, you know what I mean? And I'm nervous, and you know what I mean? And you could even pick a fictitious company, and it's for an investment banking position, or it's for a marketing position, or it's for social media for finance or whatever. Or I need to know about they're asking me that I need to know about Microsoft Office AI, that I need to know Copilot. Help me with that. Use your imagination of what type of software would you give your clients to help them. And you're saying you're giving them mock interview. What free services are you giving them? Those free services that you're giving them, you showcase that. Does that help, Kat?
Yes, thank you.
Yeah. And I just don't want you to say yes because I asked. You know what I mean? I appreciate you said it's not clear. You know what I mean? Okay. What else is involved?
I think honestly we're ready for attendance because we need to go through some others'
Yeah.
websites to help
Okay.
with
So perfect.
look at them.
Okay. So great. I think that was helpful. Thank you, Kat, for showcasing that, right? It's helpful for everyone else, and it's helpful for you. Okay, and on Wednesday, we'll showcase some more, and then I'll go over some of the other chapters for chapter 10 and 12 with you to focus in on that material as well. Okay? So Lily's put in the code. I'm going to stop the